actually it's very beautiful how we see the author Kavirāja Gosvāmī, Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī. He's always engaging with his audience, actually. He's repeatedly, it's not just like a, I don't want to say dry scripture, but let's say it's not like a textbook, right, where he's just presenting information, but it's actually very personal, and he's repeatedly addressing his audience directly, and many times we hear him say this, Shuno, like please hear me, speaking to his audience. So it's very beautiful. And it's also very humble, isn't it? He's not assuming that, you're just rapt with attention listening to his writing, but he's humbly reminding you, please listen to me, please, very humbly. Be merciful upon me. It's like that type of mood. Please be merciful upon me and hear what I have to say. He speaks like that sometimes. So now please hear about Lord Jagannath's going to the Gundicha temple while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced before the Rath car. Hemata Kirtan Prabhu Kodila Kotokan Apanu Jogena Chaila Bhakdagam. The Lord performed kirtan for some time, and through his own endeavor inspired all the devotees to dance. Apanina chitte jabe prabhormana hoilo satta sampradaya tobe katra korilo. When the Lord himself wanted to dance, all 7 groups combined together. So remember yesterday we heard about this very organized system, right? There were 7 different groups of kirtaniyas, and there's so many dancers, so many singers, so many mridanga players, and so on. They're following a very particular system, so it sounds more sweet. Shrivas Ramai Raghu Govinda Mukunda Haridas Govinda Nanda Madhava Govinda. So this is a list of names. They all combine together. Shrivas Ramai Raghu Govinda Mukunda Haridas Govinda Nanda Madhava Govinda. Udanda Nitya Prabhu Jabe Hoilo Man Sarupe Sange Diloena Vajan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu desired to jump high while dancing, he placed these 9 people in the charge of Srup Damodar. Eidosh Jan Prabhu Sange Gai Dai Ado Sab Sampradai Chadidi Ke Gai. These devotees, Srup Damodar and the devotees in his charge, sang along with the Lord, and they also ran beside him. All the other groups of men also sang. Dandavat kore Prabhu juri due hat, ordva mukhe stuti kore deki Jagannath. Offering obeisances to the Lord with folded hands, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised his face toward Jagannath and prayed as follows. So now we hear some beautiful prayers from the scriptures that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers to Lord Jagannath. And this one is very famous. You might know this one. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Do you know that verse? It's a prayer to the Brahmins who are very dear to Krishna. It is saying, our Gurudev liked this verse. The well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmins. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagad Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. This is from the Vishnu Purana. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Krishna, who is the worshipable deity for all Brahminical men. So Brahmanya Devaya, he is the Devata of the Brahmins. The Brahmins, they worship him. Who is the well-wisher of cows and Brahmanas, and who is always benefiting the whole world. I offer my repeated obeisances to the personality of Godhead, known as Krishna and Govinda. And this is another verse. This is from the Mukunda Mala, which is by King that South Indian king who was a great Vaishnava, do you remember? Raja Shekhar? Kula Shekhar. He was a Sri Vaishnava in the Ramanuja lineage in South India. He was a king, but a great devotee. Rajarshi, they're called. And Swami Maharaj Prabhupada liked his prayers very much. He had this Mukunda Mala published, I believe. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj includes some of his prayers in Prapana Jivanamrita also. Jayati Jayati Devo Devaki Nandanoso Jayati Jayati Krishna Vishni Vamsha Paripa Jayati Jayati Megha Shamala Komalango Jayati Jayati Prithvi Badanasho Mukundaha. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as the son of Devaki. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as the light of the dynasty of Vrishni. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose bodily luster is like that of a new cloud, and whose body is as soft as a lotus flower. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared on this planet to deliver the world from the burden of demons, and who can offer liberation to everyone. Now this is a quote from... So Mahaprabhu is in ecstasy, chanting all these verses in front of Lord Jagannath. And now this is another verse from Bhagavatam. Jayati jana nivaso devaki janmavado yaduvada parishatsver durbir asyan dharmam stira chara vijinakna susmita shri mukena rajapura vanitanam vardayam kama devam. Lord Sri Krishna is he who is known as Jana Nivas, the ultimate resort of all living entities, and he is also known as Devaki Nandan or Jashoda Nandan, the son of Devaki and Yashoda. He is the guide of the Jadu dynasty, and with his mighty arms he kills everything inauspicious, as well as every man who is impious. By his presence he destroys all things inauspicious for all living entities, moving and inert. His blissful smiling face always increases the lusty desires of the gopis of Vrindavan. May he be all glorious and happy. And now we have one of Mahaprabhu's own verses, this one. And this is very famous. This is a very nice verse to learn, actually. Gurudev liked this verse very much. He would quote this verse. Naham vipro nachanadapatir. It's where he's going through the Varnashrama system and saying, I'm not this. I'm not Brahmin, not Kshatriya, not Vaishya, not Shudra. You may have heard about this. I'm just servant of the servant of Sri Krishna. Naham vipro nachanadapatir napi Vaishyo na Shudro naham varni nacha grihapatir no vanasto yutirva kintu prodyan nikila paramananda purnamritabder gopi bartu para kamalayor dasa dasa. You remember that verse, right? I am not a Brahmin, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya or a Shudra, nor am I a brahmachari, a householder, a vanaprastha or a sannyasi. I identify myself only as the servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He is like an ocean of nectar, and he is the cause of universal, transcendental bliss. He is always existing with brilliance. Etabadi punarapi korilo pranam jodihate bhaktagan vande bhagavam. So this text is primarily written in Bengali, but then there are many Sanskrit verses that are cited throughout it. Having recited all these verses from scripture, the Lord again offered his obeisances, and all the devotees with folded hands also offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Udanda Nitya Prabhu Kodiya Hunkar Chakra Brahmi Brahme Jaiche Alatakar. When Mahaprabhu danced and jumped high, roaring like thunder and moving in a circle like a wheel, he appeared like a circling firebrand. Nitya Prabhu Jaha Jaha Pade Padatal Sasaga Shaila Mahi Kode Talamal. Wherever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stepped while dancing, the whole earth with its hills and seas appeared to tilt. Stamba Sweda Pulakashu Kampa Vaivanya Nanabhave Vivashata Garva Harsha Danya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced, he displayed various blissful transcendental changes in his body. Sometimes he appeared as though stunned. Sometimes the hairs of his body stood on end. Sometimes he perspired, cried, trembled, and changed color. And sometimes he exhibited symptoms of helplessness, pride, exuberance, and humility. Achadakaya pode bhume godi jai, suvarna parvata jaiche bhumete lotai. When Mahaprabhu fell down with a crash while dancing, he would roll on the ground. At such times it appeared that a golden mountain was rolling on the ground. Nityananda Prabhu dui hata prasadiya, Prabhu de dodite chahe asha pashadaya. Nityananda Prabhu would stretch out his two hands and try to catch the Lord when he was running here and there. Prabhu pache bule acharya koriya honkar, Hari bol, bole bar bar. Advaita Charya would walk behind the Lord and loudly chant, Hari bol, again and again. Lokanivadite hoilo tin mandal, pratam mandale Nityananda Mahabal. Just to check the crowds from coming too near the Lord, they formed 3 circles. The first circle was guided by Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram himself, the possessor of great strength. So that, like a people barrier. The devotees would do that with Gurudev sometimes. I remember when during Gaur Purnima, they took Gurudev across to see the fireworks display, and so many crowds and crowds. They made like a circle around it to be able to cross.
In Govinda Kund?
Yeah, he would go from his room across to the Govinda Kund, yeah. You saw some pictures.
I've seen photos of that.
Saw photos, yeah. Kashishvar Govindadi Jata Bhakta Gan Hata Hati Kodi Hoilo Ditiya Vadan. All the devotees, headed by Kashishvar and Govinda, linked hands and formed a second circle around the Lord. Vahide Prataparudra Loya Pachagan Mandal Hoya Kore Lokni Vadan. Maharaj Prataparudra and his personal assistants. Wow, so the king himself, formed a third circle around the 2 inner circles, just to check the crowd from coming too near. Hari Chandaner Skande Hastalambiya Prabhur Nitya Deke Raja Vishta Hoya. With his hands on the shoulders of Hari Chandan, King Prataparudra could see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing, and the king felt great ecstasy. Oh, this is a very funny part. So you have to pay attention here. So the king is trying to watch Mahaprabhu dance, right? Because it's so beautiful to see Mahaprabhu dancing. So the king Prataparudra, he has his hands on the shoulders of this one devotee, Hari Chandan. I guess he's leaning on him, trying to see. Henokale Srinivas Prema Vishtaman Rajrage Rohi Deke Prabhu Nartan. While the king beheld the dancing, Srivas Thakur, standing in front of him, became ecstatic as he saw the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So meanwhile, Srivas Thakur, he's one of the main associates of Mahaprabhu. And in the Panchatattva, Srivas Adi, he's mentioned there. So the king is leaning his hand on Hari Chandan, trying to see Mahaprabhu, and then Srivas Thakur is right in front of him, also looking at Mahaprabhu. Rajage Harichandan deke Srinivas hastetar esparshi kohe hawe kapash. Seeing Srivas Thakur standing before the king, Harichandan touched Srivas with his hands and requested him to step aside. This big mistake. So I think Harichandan must be like one of the attendants to the king. So he's thinking he's the king, everyone has to move out the way, So Harichandan taps Srivas, can you move so the king can see better, right? Nityaveshe Srinivas kichwe na jane, bar telete ho krodha hoy lo mane. Absorbed in watching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, Srivas Thakur could not understand why he was being touched and pushed. After he was pushed again and again, he became angry. Chapad Madhyatade Koilani Vadhan, Chapad Kaya Kruda Hoila Harichandan. Srivas Thakur slapped Harichandan to stop him from pushing him. In turn, this made Harichandan angry. So even pure devotees, they have some arguments sometimes. They're fighting to see Mahaprabhu dance, and then some dispute might take place. So Srivas Thakur said, why do you keep pushing me? I'm trying to watch Mahaprabhu in peace, leave me alone. And he slaps him. And now Harichandan is angry. So, oh no, things are about to blow up. As the angered Harichandan was about to speak to Srivas Thakur, Prataparudra Maharaj personally stopped him. So fortunately the king intervenes and stops this from blowing up further. Bhagyavan tumi har hastas parsha paila, amar bhagyanahi tumi kritarta hoila. So the king says, you are very fortunate, for you have been graced by the touch of Srivas Thakur. So he's saying, you're so blessed, you could be slapped by Srivas Thakur. What a great blessing to be slapped by a great devotee. I am not so fortunate. You should feel obliged to him. So you are more lucky than me. I wish I could be slapped by Srivas Thakur. Pavar nitya deki loke hoilo chamatkar, anyachuk jaganat ananda apar. Everyone was astonished by the dancing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even Lord Jagannath became extremely happy to see him. So this little pastime, I like it very much, because the king, he's not thinking about himself. Because the king could easily think, everyone should move, I am the king, and why are you obstructing this? But he's actually a Vaishnava. He's a genuine Vaishnava. And so he's very humble, and he's honoring Srivas Thakur, no matter what the circumstances. So it's a very nice example. Not taking offense, right? But seeing this with very sweet Vaishnava, generous view. Because it is in this world, it is very easy for our ego to become, offended or bothered by various things. But if you can adjust your vision, you will see things in a sweet way. Oh, I'm very fortunate. My ego has been slapped, right? I am very blessed. And King Prataparudra, he's keeping a very light and happy view on things. It's a very nice example. Actually, everything is perspective, right? To be offended, that is just a perception of our ego, right? To be humiliated, that is just a particular perception of our consciousness. And we have free will, we can choose. We can choose whether we are offended, right, or not offended. And so the example of Prataparudra Maharaj is very, very nice for us.
Vishakha,
yes,
can I ask a question? It's an eternal question, a popular question. How is it possible that the highest gift, which is the holy name and the teachings of Mahaprabhu, been given to the lowest people in Kali Yuga?
How is it possible? Only mercy, right? You know the answer. You know all the answers, do you? Only mercy. Only mercy. We were reading yesterday from Golden Volcano, actually, and we were hearing some discussion of those points, and the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu in particular, right? Does not seek any qualification. If it did, then it wouldn't be considered mercy, right? So, and you want to add something, do you?
What do you say?
Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think mercy is also love, the extreme love that the Lord has for the fallen souls. There is no other solution actually than giving, because the Lord can only give the highest. So one drop of the highest of the Lord contains already, contains already the highest. So the Lord cannot give in one drop all the highest ingredients, which is Satchit Ananda, right? Eternal happiness and knowledge. And we are so down and so fallen, only the highest mercy, the highest love from the Lord for his lost servants can help. And that's why Mahaprabhu came with his teachings and the holy name, which is a wish-fulfilling jewel, a wish-fulfilling jewel. Just continuing chanting, because we cannot, there's still obstacles in the name. But Vishakha said, we have some perspectives in ourselves, or wrong acquired in the mind, and only eagerness, enthusiasm and perseverance, continuing enthusiasm, because who can say that the highest thing has come to nobody can say that. And we see the faces of the people, they don't have it, and we have it. So to carry that jewel very carefully in the heart, and very protecting, and being very enthusiastic about it, that we found it. We don't have to look, we don't have to search anymore. We found it. Who can say that? There's something very, very high, special, inconceivable. I heard that was inconceivable. It's actually inconceivable that happened.
Inconceivable mercy.
Mercy, yeah, mercy. Now to give this life proper receiver, to properly, whatever happens, to keep on going, cherishing this highest gift. There is just nothing else to hanker for, nothing. But we have to go through some samsara, some things in life, but never disconnect. For everybody is different, isn't it, Vishakha? You have to go through what you have to go through. There are some things in life, that's not a problem. But keep cherishing this jewel in the heart forever. If you once have made that connection with Krishna, you can never forget it. No birth, no lifetime, never. No? That's special.
Okay. Read a little more. Everyone was astonished by the dancing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and even Lord Jagannath became extremely happy to see him. The car came to a complete standstill and remained immobile while Lord Jagannath, with unblinking eyes, watched the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Subhadra Baladame Hridaye Ulas Nitya Deki Dui Jana Shrimuke Tehas. The goddess of fortune, Subhadra, and Lord Balaram both felt great happiness and ecstasy within their hearts. Indeed, they were seen smiling at the dancing. Udandar Nitya Prabhu Adbhut Vikar Ashta Sadvika Bhavudaya Hoy Samakal. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and jumped high, 8 wonderful transformations indicative of divine ecstasy were seen in his body. All these symptoms were visible simultaneously. Mamsaran samaroma vindapulakita shimulira viksha jeno kanta kvistita. His skin erupted with goose pimples, and the hairs of his body stood on end. His body resembled the shimuli, silk cotton tree, all covered with thorns. Ek ek dante kampa dekite lage boy, loke jane danta sab kasya padai. Indeed, the people became afraid just to see his teeth chatter, and they even thought that his teeth would fall out. Sarvange prasve chute tate raktadgam, jaja gaga gadgada vachan. Mahaprabhu's whole body flowed with perspiration and at the same time oozed blood. He made the sounds jaja gaga, and a voice choked with ecstasy. So it's not a pretty picture sometimes, when Mahaprabhu would go into this very deep mood of ecstasy. And it is a little incomprehensible. And actually once Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj, our Param Guru, when he was traveling and preaching, going door to door, he said there was one gentleman who asked him, I really cannot comprehend, that you are celebrating Lord Chaitanya, right, and his prema, right, this divine love that he came to bring. But when I look at this prema, it doesn't look very attractive. I've heard descriptions of some of the transformations that Lord Chaitanya would go through when he was in divine ecstasy, and it sounds very painful. So how is it that you are worshiping and aspiring for such a thing, right? And Śrīla Sridhar Maharaj explained to him that superficially, on one level, there is pain. It appears to be pain. But on a deeper level, there is intense ecstasy, intense joy. And there is one line of Kavirāja Gosvāmī, Bahire Visha Jwala hoy, Bitare Ananda hoy, Ananda moy, Krishna Prem, Adbhut Chadi. This is the wonderful characteristic of Krishna Prema, divine love for Krishna. That externally it may appear that one is suffering from the pain of a serpent's bite, right? The poison of a serpent bite. But actually within, internally, they're experiencing the greatest bliss, the greatest joy. Right? So that's something we have to remember when we're hearing these descriptions. Right? What is seen, what is perceived within the objective world, the physical world, is not necessarily representing the subjective internal experience. So otherwise it can be very puzzling. Tears came forcefully from the eyes of the Lord, as if from a syringe, and all the people surrounding him became wet. So his tears are so many tears are coming. Everyone around him is getting splashed with those tears of ecstasy. Everyone saw the complexion of his body change from white to pink, so that his luster resembled that of the malika flower. Kabu stamba, kabu prabhu, bhumete lotai, shushka kashta samapada hastana chalai. Sometimes he appeared stunned, and sometimes he rolled on the ground. Indeed, sometimes his legs and hands became as hard as dry wood, and he did not move. Kabu bhume pore kabu shasha hoyahin. And we hear actually, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He is said to be Krishna with the bhav and kanti, the heart and halo of Radharani, right? And so Krishna was interested in, he was curious to explore the bhav, the heart, the mood, the devotion of Radharani, right? But we hear that he actually had some discussion with her about this. It is mentioned in some places in the scriptures that he told her, I'm going to appear in the earthly plane, I want to experience your mood of devotion. They had some discussion like this, but she was concerned, and she said, because I know what it's like, and you will experience the most intense emotions, and you will be moved to roll on the ground, and you'll go through so many things, and so she said, I will give you my own luster, my own bodily effulgence and color, and I will protect you, when you are rolling on the ground in ecstasy. And so this is why Lord Chaitanya appears with this gold. This is Radharani's color, right? Krishna, he is Sham, he is this dark blackish blue. But she was concerned about him, so she said, I will protect you, I will cover you with my own luster. And so for that reason he appears in a golden form. With the kanti, the halo, the golden effulgence of Sri Radha. When the Lord fell on the ground, sometimes his breathing almost stopped. When the devotees saw this, their lives also became very feeble. Water flowed from his eyes and sometimes through his nostrils, and foam fell from his mouth. These flowings appeared to be torrents of nectar descending from the moon. The foam which fell from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken and drunk by Shubhananda because he was very fortunate and expert in relishing the mellow of ecstatic love of Krishna. After performing his devastating dance for some time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mind entered into a mood of ecstatic love. Okay, maybe we'll stop there for today. Jai Sri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta ki Jai, Krishna's Kavirāja Gosvāmī ki Jai. Can go to page 60 in the books there. Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohana. Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Gosvāmī Maharaj ki jai, Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Girihari ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Hapanya Dham ki jai, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande.
Vishakha Didi ki jai.
Today would be the Hapanya festival in Goa. I think we have the Japan meeting at 11, is it?
Yes.
I think 11, right?